What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to Broc Gardner versus the World. This show is not sponsored, but you can support me for free by commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, leaving a 5-star review if you're on Apple Music, and all that other good stuff. Thank you for listening. We have a great show planned for you guys today, so, stay tuned to see what I might say. Awkward moment of the day. This is gonna turn into a regular segment probably because I have so many of these. So I'm going golfing this morning. Well, I'm going to the driving range this morning, and which we'll talk about later. And I call the guy because I'm super new at golf, which we'll get into. But I'm super new at golf. I just started getting into the world of golfing, and so I don't have any supply. I don't have any golfing stuff. And so I needed some tees because I was going to the range this morning. And so I called the place that I'm going to just to make sure because it's 30 minutes away from my house and I didn't want to have to drive there and be like, F, I don't have any tees, and then have to come back and steal some or go to clear to St. George and then get some more. So I called the place to get some tees, and it's 6:34, 4 minutes after they even open. And I'm like, yo, what's up? No, that's not what I said. So here's what happened. So I try to be very personable when when I'm an employee, I'm not very personable because I'm always mad. But when I'm a customer, I try and be as kind and as respectful to service industry workers, because I know how it feels to be an employee having to deal with a stupid person. And so I try and be as courteous and as pumped up as I can be, and as least as smart as I can be, I guess you could say. And so I call him hey man, how's it going? How are you this morning? And he says, good. And it kind of threw me off because most of the time you ask somebody how they are, they say, good, how are you doing? That's kind of usually the response. And I'm like, yo, how are you this morning? Good. And then I'm supposed to talk again. So then I ask them about the tees. They got tees. And this is the funny thing. So I'm like, hey, do you guys have any plastic tees that you guys sell? We have fly tees. I don't know what a fly tee is, but I'm sure that's what I'm looking for. This is what I'm talking about, dude. I feel so out of place. So anyways, I call the guy. Do that whole conversation. They got tees. Sick. So I drive there, and then it's this super fancy it's called the Ledges. If you guys live in southern Utah, I go to the Ledges, and for me it's super fancy, and there's so many roundabouts, and it was really confusing on how to get there. So I'm losing my mind, and I feel like I'm out of place because I messed up the roundabouts a couple times, and had to have Google Directions give me directions because it's so confusing for me. And so I get to the building, and it's this beautiful, nice facility, these beautiful doors that have these beautiful handles that open up. And I'm just like, man, I just don't belong here. And so I'm already on edge. And I walk in, and it's the same guy. I assume it's the same guy behind the counter. So I walk in, and I grab the tees. And then I go to but here's the thing, dude, so this isn't really all my fault. So I grab the tees, and they have tables surrounding the cashier thing, and then the card machine is on the table. So the card machine, usually it's right, it's all one counter. But here there's 3 tables with stuff on them, and then a card machine, and then 5 feet back is the real counter. But it's all blocked off because of COVID, I guess. And so I grabbed my tees, and I'm just kind of standing there. And I didn't see the card reader at first. And so I'm just standing there waiting for them to approach me, I guess, which is a little complacent, but and so the 2 guys are talking. They're yeah, man, I just the grip was really hard for me. I can't get the grip down, And then they give me that look. That look when when employees are talking and you're such a burden to them. Yeah, man, the grip, I was just freaking struggling with the grip. They're what is this guy? What does this pecker want? And so then I'm standing there like a little idiot. And I'm just like chilling, waiting for them to come to the counter. And the guy that I was on the phone with does this. Hey, how are you? Threw me off, dude. Because I went in there thinking, why did that guy not ask me how I was? I went in there and I had the mindset, why did that guy not ask me how I was? It threw me off my whole groove. And then I walk into there and the first thing he says, hey, how are you? I'm like, whoa. So I'm like, so a regular response, like I said earlier, a regular response would be, I'm good. How are you doing? Here's what Broc did. Hey, how are you doing? Hey. And then for some reason, I thought he was supposed to talk next. No, Broc, you were supposed to keep talking. Hey, how are you doing? Hey. We stood there. He wasn't looking at me. He was like looking down when he asked that. And I said, hey. And then he just kept looking down. And I think 10 seconds maybe passed by. And he looks up. Like, what do you need? I'm like, oh, yeah, can I get a bucket of balls and these teas? Yeah, dude, but like it was such a weird setup. The card reader was like 30 yards away from the friggin', I had to walk across the room and stick the card in. I'm like, he's like, hey, it's ready for you. I'm like, am I good to go? It was so weird, man. But yeah, dude. So I just barely got into golfing because listen, all my homies are leaving, dude. And I'm going to be by myself. I'm leaving my family. I'm moving to a new city. Is it only like 45 minutes away from my old city? Yeah, but it's still a new city. And I'm going to be there all alone trying to figure out life. And so I have podcasting, But here's the thing, dude, that I've been realizing. I don't have any interest besides podcasting. Podcasting is like my hobby. And normally people have hobbies and then make a podcast about it. But podcasting is my hobby. And so my podcasting is kind of about like podcasting. And I've been centering my life around podcasting instead of centering my podcast about my life, if that makes sense. And I need to work on that, dude. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to get like a hobby, like interest. I need interests, dude. Is that microphone in the way? Let's move that mic. I was like, I need interests. So here's the thing. So I thought golfing would be a fun one. Because I don't know. I don't know why. I really have always just loved the golfing aesthetic, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, so I'm just like, maybe I might as well get into golfing. So I went with Taryn, which this is all his stuff. His stuff's everywhere. He just moves here. My uncle Taryn. And he's a big golfer. So I'm like, yo, Taryn, you want to go golfing? So we go golfing. And I suck at it. I'm terrible. But it's a fun time, dude. I like the one thing I do like about golfing a lot is that all the courses are just built in like the most beautiful places. You know what I'm saying? Like 9 times out of 10, a golf course is going to look good and have like beautiful surroundings. And so here's the thing, dude. I love being in nature. I love chilling. I love hitting stuff. And I love the clothes too. Golfing clothes are top tier, dude. God tier golfing clothes. The polo, rocking the polo with some of the golf shorts. I wear this necklace, but it's not really a golf thing. I love golf hats. I love, golf belts. I just love everything about the sport. And I love the golfing vibe. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, here, I'll explain it to you. Golfing to me has always been like a rich person sport. And if you know me, you know I'm always aspiring to be a rich person. Like just F your mother money, like throw it out there, $4 million mansion, just buy whatever I want, dude. I've always wanted to be that level of rich. Will it ever happen? No. But I've always wanted to be that level of rich. And do you know what those guys do besides putting out hits on people they don't like? They golf. And so that's why I've always been really drawn to golf as a recreational activity because I feel like it's for rich people and I love the rich aesthetic. And I don't like the poor aesthetic, which we've talked about ad nauseum. And so that's also one of the reasons I wanted to start golfing. And so, dude, like an example, I've never seen this in real life. See, it's always been in my head that it's for rich businessmen, but I've never seen it in real life. So then this morning, I'm at the range, getting some hits in, getting some swings in, dude. And there's 2 guys beside me. It's me and 2 other guys. and then another guy at the very end by himself. And so these two guys are like, dude, they're straight talking business, dude. There's one of these guys. By the way, I'm the youngest person there by 20 years. Most likely, like 20 or 15 years. I'm the youngest person there. And so it's like me and all these old guys, dude, and it was so freaking awesome. I loved it. And so these two guys are talking about business. There's one guy talking about business deals. Let me rephrase that. There's one guy talking about business deals. The other guy doesn't say a word. He's just, he's one of those people that just listens. And so I'm just swinging, dude, and it's beautiful sunrise, and there's these beautiful red mountains behind me, and I'm just swinging, and you smell of grass, and then there's a man talking about business behind me, dude. They're talking about this lady named, I forgot her name. It was like Mary or Sarah or one of those names. And they're talking about accounts. They're talking about clients and accounts. I told her, at this point in my business, I would never take that many clients. Something about assets or something. Dude, and I didn't understand any of it, but I just loved listening to it. I loved listening to it because that's the person that I aspire to be. I want to be making deals. I want to be getting clients, getting accounts. And I think that's such a cool word for clients. Like, why not just call them clients? Listen, why not just call them clients? Because accounts, dude. Because accounts. Why would you call them clients when accounts is a word that you can use? Wild, man. So there's my golfing thing, dude. And also, it's just so peaceful. And a lot of people might think it's super boring or whatever. It's very peaceful and calming for me. Because one of the things I've learned so far is that you can't just smash the ball. When I first got into it, when I first did it, I was trying to hit the ball as hard as I could. And it's no. It's actually the opposite. Less is more. You swing nice and soft and solid, dude. That club will do the work. That thing will go sailing. So it teaches me how to handle my emotions and how to handle my anger and put my strength into something productive. But I might be reading into it too much. And also, my favorite thing about golfing is that I don't belong in golfing. 100%. My favorite thing about golfing, what makes me so attracted to it, is that I don't belong anywhere near it. I don't know where I belong. I belong in a baseball stadium, shoving my face with some chili dogs. And then there's all these, prestigious. And I'm just yo, what up, brother? Yo, son. I just loved it. I love breaking down barriers, dude. And I love hugging people. There. That's the end of golf talk for this week. But it's tight. Let's talk about this YouTuber TikToker fight. So we've talked about this a little bit on the podcast. I saw the promotional poster. Hold on. I'm trying to get this. If I had there we go. So I saw the poster that they put out, the promo. And I was this is so strange because it was Danny Duncan and FaZe somebody and then Bryce Hall. And I was I thought it was fake for a long time, this YouTuber versus TikToker fight. It's just not something I'm ever going to be interested in, I don't think. And everyone was talking about how much money it would make. But so they put out that promo and I never saw anything for it again. I never saw I saw people posting the promo, and that was it. When it first dropped, that was it. And maybe I'm not following the right people, but I didn't see any, they did not advertise it well at all, I don't think, in my opinion. So I knew, the Adesanya fight was happening that night, and so that's kind of what I was focused on. And then, the next morning, everyone was talking about this Bryce Hall, Austin Broom fight, and I'm wait, that happened? That was seriously, it was the morning after. Everyone's oh, Bryce Hall got demolished. And I was wait a second, that actually happened? So, first and foremost, their promos sucked for it. Terrible. And I'm trying to find this post-Bryce Hall interview. Because it was super funny. I actually haven't even seen the fight. Should we watch the highlights? Should we try and find the highlights first and then Shut up. And then watch the post interview, because I have seen a little bit of the post interview, and it's so funny, dude. Full highlights. All right, let's watch this highlight reel. Unless it has a okay. I don't know anything about sports, but we're gonna watch this highlight reel. So I assume that guy's Austin McBroom with the curly hair, and he's like a family vlogger, I guess. He's like a. This kind of looks like a skit. This doesn't look like a real fight. Whoa. Yeah, I seriously don't care about boxing. But yeah, dude, that's what's so funny is... Okay, please, you're distracting me. So that's what's so funny is Bryce Hall in, like, I don't know if it was like an interview for this fight or whatever, but he was like bragging about how he's been in 40 street fights. And I'm like, what does that even mean? How do you get into a street fight? Okay, number one, how do you get into a street fight? And number two, how do you get into 40 street fights? Like, you got to be seeking those out. And what is a street fight? And what constitutes a street fight? Like shoving some guy, be like, yo, what'd you say? Yo, like, that's not a fight, dude. That's not a fight, you know? Dude, boxing is like so boring to me to watch. Look at that. Sorry for audio listeners, it's kind of boring, but like, I don't even, I feel like like I said, I don't know anything about boxing, but I feel like neither do they. Is that bad? Am I completely wrong? Are they like geniuses? Because they don't look like it. And Bryce Hall, dude, looks like a child. Looks like an absolute child. So I don't know. And then I heard, I don't know if it was a KO. I don't know who won. I'm pretty sure the McBroom guy won. But I don't know if it was a knockout or by decision or whatever. Let's go to after fight. Let's go here. So this is McBroom guy. Please shut up. Shut up. Where's Bryce Hall? Oh, that's Bryce Hall. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so here's Bryce Hall.
What emotions are you going through right now? You went out here. You need to be so proud of yourself. You put on a performance. Not a lot of people would do that.
This is a crazy outcome, to say the least. Didn't think this many people wanted to see a TikToker box, but we're here. Honestly, that was rigged. No, I'm kidding. I'm not a boxer. I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter. But next time, hey, we'll see. Good job, Austin.
All right.
Bro. And then people just absolutely expose him. Because what? I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed. That's such a cop-out, dude. That's such a cop-out. Just do the thing or don't do the thing. If you're going to hype yourself up like that, dude, I would take... Here's the thing. In this situation, either before the fight, because I'm pretty sure before the fights, he was like, yo, I'm Bryce Hall. I'm going to beat the shoes out of him. I'm going to destroy him. You know, because I don't know. I just assume that's what he was like. And I've seen some videos like what he was doing. He's bragging about being in 40 street fights. He's crazy and like... So either before the fights, you be humble, and then after the fight, you be humble. Or before the fight, you be arrogant, and after you lose, still be arrogant somehow. Those are the only two options. Because if you're arrogant and then you get beat, and now you're like, yeah, dude, I was never even a fighter. I never even claimed to be a fighter, so I don't even know why I'm here, to be honest. Seriously, I've never even been in a street fight. That was just a thing I just said for an interview, and I seriously I've never even thrown a fist. I've never even made a fist with my hands, and so there's honestly no chance I could have won, and honestly, Austin McBroom is not that good because seriously, I've never even done this with my hand. That was actually the first time just now when I did that. That was the first time I ever made a fist, and so that's why I lost, and that's just seriously what happened. So, like, dude. Just own up to it, man. Be like, yo, I lost. Next time, I'm going to go for it. The pain, dude. Yeah, so I'm not a fighter. I've never claimed to be a fighter. And I guess next time, we'll see. What? Dude, you got to go out fiery. you know, just either be a douchebag or don't be a douchebag. You can't have both. You can't have the best of both worlds, Mr. Bryce Hall. And everybody's just, dude, the day after, everybody was clowning on him. I'm surprised the man is still standing, to be honest. Everybody was clowning, like, so hardcore. You know, because it's fun, dude. It's fun to make fun of people when they are pretending to be something they're not. Like me, for example, golfing. I'm pretending to be a rich person that is 130 pounds and is really good at golf and has really good hair. And, you know, it's not me. I'm built to cut trees or something. I don't know. So yeah, and that's the deal with that. Drop your thoughts on the fight, dude. I want to know what you guys think, because I obviously didn't watch it because I don't care. Because why would you care? Who is Bryce Hall? Why would you care? I heard somebody was saying that they're gonna start doing like women TikToker fights and YouTuber fights. I think Braden was telling me that they're gonna do like women fights like that, and like Tana Montague or whatever her name is, Mongay or whatever. That's not politically correct. I would like to see Charlie and Dixie fight, dude. That I would pay for that. I don't care about Austin McBroom. I'd never watch his vlog because I'm not 6. And I don't watch Bryce Hall because I'm not 6. But I'd be down to see Charlie and Dixie fight, and maybe the winner of that fights Livy or whatever. Like, that would be pretty sick. I'd pay for that. Let's make that happen. Tag them in the comments, bro. Let's make this fight happen. I'll put it on. I'll put all the money into it, man. You guys just have to show up. Livy, Charlie, Dixie, you guys in? You guys down? You in? Yeah, so I went to Vegas this past weekend. Last week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. As kind of a last road trip. A last little getaway with the boys before they leave. And it was fun, man. It was a good time, you know? Vegas is a trash hole, though. I don't like Las Vegas at all. And this last one was just the nail in the coffin for me. Vegas, to me, is like, it's like when you walk around the Strip, in my mind, it's like a lot of people think that this is like the highs of a lot of people's lives. Like going to Vegas for Bryce's bachelor party. We're going to get wasted. It's going to be crazy, dude. It's going to be the best time of our lives. And dude, I walk around there. I'm like, if this is the best time of your lives, gosh, like it's like you ever heard that song by Tony Bennett, The Boulevard of Broken Dreams? I think that song is written about Las Vegas, because that's just what I think about the whole time, is like, it's just broken dreams, people that haven't figured anything out. Like, nobody that's in Las Vegas is nobody that's in Las Vegas has parents that love them. Like, they're just trying to like defy their parents, and they're just like, yo, I don't know. That's just the vibe I get. And also, there's just nothing for me in Vegas. There's just nothing there for me. I don't like watching like shows. I don't like here's an unpopular opinion. I don't like stand-up comedy. I just don't care for it. There's some stuff that I think is funny, but I don't think I would ever go to like a stand-up show unless it was like Tim Dillon. And that's just because it's Tim Dillon. But I don't like live stuff, except for musics. I'm going to a music festival in Salt Lake City in August, and I'm trying to get tickets go on sale tomorrow for this Day in Vegas, which they started in 2019, I think. Day in Vegas was the first Day in Vegas in 2019. And their 3 headliners were J. Cole. No, J. Cole wasn't even a headliner, actually. Their 3 headliners were the same as this year. It was like Travis Scott, Kendrick Lamar, and Tyler were the 3 headliners. And then there was like J. Cole. But it was the most stacked lineup I've ever seen in my life, dude. The first Day in Vegas in 2019. Every rapper, artist I could think of that I listened to was there. And I didn't have that much money, and I couldn't drive. And so I didn't buy a ticket, and the biggest regret of my life, dude. I wish I would have figured that out, because that was sick, dude. Nardwar was there interviewing people, but tickets go on sale tomorrow for this year, so they didn't do them last year. And So that's in November. And the headliners this year are Travis, Kendrick, and Tyler. They got Thundercat there. They got Lil Baby. Like, literally, this year's lineup is pretty stacked too. But I just like festivals, dude. Tickets are like $500 too. And that might seem like a lot, but really it's not when you take into consideration all the people that you're seeing. Like, festivals are the way to go. There's not that many people that I would actually go to, like, their concert, if that makes any sense. Like, there's only a handful of people that I would go to a concert of just them. But other than that, dude, I think festivals are just the way to go. Because, like, for Hive, which is the Salt Lake festival, Post Malone, DaBaby, Jack Harlow, like, 3 of the biggest artists. Let's just use those 3. They're all going to be there. 3 of the biggest artists in rap right now. And the ticket was like $300 for the whole festival for 2 days. And, dude, how much would a Post Malone ticket cost? Just a regular Post Malone ticket. It would cost like $300, wouldn't it? So I feel like you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, dude. So $500 for a day in Vegas, yeah, it might sound like a lot, but honestly, for what you're getting, which is an experience of music and love, can you really put a price on that? Anyways, that has nothing to do with what I'm trying to say. But yeah, dude, I went to Vegas. It was chill. I went to the Cheesecake Factory. It's overhyped. I got the fish tacos because I thought it would be a good idea, and it wasn't. The sauce on them just wasn't good, and it made my stomach hurt. And dude, it's so funny, dude. Some of this stuff, like, freaks me out for no reason. Like, we're going to Cheesecake Factory, and there's just, like, girls in, like full-on, like, Sunday dress. Like, they're dressing up to go eat at Cheesecake Factory. I'm like, what? What is going on here? There's water running. I apologize for those of you that can hear that. But yeah, so Vegas just isn't my favorite place in the world. Let's talk about Tyler, dude. Speaking of music. So, Tyler, the Creator. He's probably my second favorite artist now, but for a long time he was my favorite artist, and he kind of got me into rap and, like, into just music, like, listening to albums and, like, really trying to get an experience with music, which sounds really pretentious, but his albums are just crazy, dude. And those are the first times where, like, I listened to him, and I was like, whoa, if you listen to the album in order and don't skip, there's, like, cool transitions and, like, cool stories being told and stuff, and it, like, flows really well. So that was, like, the first thing that made me realize that. So his last album that he dropped was Igor in 2019. And, dude, he dropped a single yesterday. Wild, bro. So his promo, I actually wrote this topic down before any of this happened. But, like, a week ago, I think, people started seeing billboards pop up in LA that said, like, call me if you get lost or something. And so there was a number on the billboard, and people would be calling it, and it would play, like, this voice message of Tyler and his mom, like, talking or something. Just, like, super vague. And then people started, like, digging into it, and they found that last year, well, I guess the 2019 Grammys, when he was, like, wearing a bellhop outfit, and he had a suitcase, and on the bottom said, call me if you get lost. That's crazy, dude. That's wild. That's planning, bro. He had all this planned back then. And so then he put out a promo of him and this chick making out in front of a car, which was fun. And then yesterday he dropped a single called Lumberjack. And, dude, it was so sick. I know none of you care about this, but I'm going to just talk about it because I like it. So, like, old Tyler, it sounded like a mixture of, like, new Tyler and old Tyler. It sounded like Igor and, like, Cherry Bomb / Wolf album era. It's, like, super grungy, but it's, like, pretty beautiful too. And it's, like, he's going back to, like, rap instead of, like what Igor was, which is, I don't know what you'd call it. Probably, like, more pop, I would say. But yeah, you guys need to go listen to Tyler, dude, because all his stuff is so solid, except for, like, his first 2 albums. I don't like his first 2 albums. His first mixtape, Bastard and Goblin. There's some good songs on there, but I don't love them. But then everything after that I think is amazing. So yeah, that's all I gotta say for that. Charger versus dude. Let's talk about some of the stuff that I just don't understand. Is that all right with you guys? So over the weekend, Matthew was getting so upset with me when we were in Vegas because I did not understand the difference between a Dodge Charger and a Dodge Challenger. Because listen to me. Listen to this sentence I'm about to say. Why? Okay, this is a note for Dodge. Dodge, why would you name two cars that look fairly similar, Challenger and Charger? Because listen to me. If you break down those words, cha and cha, jur and jur, the only thing that's different is Allen and R. Are you kidding me? If the cars look that similar and have that similar of a name, how do you expect me not to mix them up, dude? They look fairly similar. People keep telling me they don't. Listen, dude, yes, they do. They look pretty close to the same thing. I'm sick of people bagging on me, dude, because I don't have a little eye. Oh, I don't have a little eye for cars. Oh, I can't tell the difference between cars or little trucks. Who cares? I see a truck, I say, oh, that's a truck. Oh, it's a car. They go. They go. Who cares what they are? But you know, watching Fast and Furious and stuff, so I know what a Challenger is now, and I'm like, I kept seeing Chargers, and I'm like, dude, look at that Challenger. And Matt would hit me, it's not a Challenger, it's a Charger. And I'm like, whoa, dude, sorry, they look pretty similar. No, dude, do you not see the difference? They're completely different cars. Pardon me, what? Editor Brock, Challenger, Charger, put them on the screen. Challenger, Charger. They look pretty similar. Especially when they're not side by side. When you just see one driving, you know, I don't know the difference. But I learned that Chargers have 4 doors and Challengers only have 2 doors. So that's what's been helping me know the difference. And so now every time we see one, I just tap Matt. I'm like, Matt, Charger. I'm like a little autistic kid. Matt, Charger. Matthew, Challenger. And he's just like, yeah, buddy, very good. Good job. That's so pointless. And then he was telling me about this house that he knew of that they were doing like railings or gates from. Okay, dude, tell me if this makes any sense. He was doing railings for a house because he's a welder. And he said the house was so insulated that they could, number one, he said they could heat the whole house with a match, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, no, you can't. And second, he said that they're not going to use air conditioning or heating ever. They won't ever have to. So then I start thinking, and I'm like, how in the world does that work? So he's trying to explain to me. So obviously insulation, I guess I just don't know how insulation works. And dude, people are going to think I'm stupid. I don't care. I am. I don't know a lot about a lot. And so I don't understand how, okay, so if it's so insulated, if it's so thick and insulated, so in the summers, it stays, let's say it stays 69 degrees. That's what my house is set at, unintentionally. My parents set it at 69, and I don't think they're that big of jokesters. And so let's say it stays at 69 degrees inside the house. So it's keeping the heat out in the summertime. The insulation is keeping the heat out. But then somehow in the wintertime, it's supposed to stay warm in the house. So if it's keeping the heat out in the summertime, wouldn't it keep the heat out in the wintertime? That is how it makes sense to me. Comment, please. Somebody that knows about insulation and science and literally everything, please comment. How does this work? So the house is fairly insulated, and it's supposed to keep it at a central temperature, which without using heating or air conditioning. Keeps the heat out, in my mind, keeps the heat out in the summertime, makes sense. Keeps the heat out, it stays cool in the house. But then come September, October, November, December, starts getting a little chillier. And so in Brock's mind's eye, in my mind's eye or whatever, it still keeps the heat out. Does it just switch what it keeps out and it keeps the heat in? How does it do that? How do it know? How does the insulation know to keep the cold air out or keep the hot air out? You know? And then they're like trying to explain, no, it's not keeping anything out, it's keeping it in. Well, where does that air come from that's in the house? Where does the 69-degree air come from that it's keeping in? Please, somebody that knows what the deal is, comment. Please, I'm begging you, because I have to figure this out, because it just doesn't make sense to me. So there's 2 things I don't understand. We're going to start segments. Number 1, awkward encounters. Number 2, things I don't understand. Number 3, which we'll get into right now, action movies. Number 1 action movies I watched, all 3 of the John Wicks. What I would rate them, John Wick 1 is a solid 8.5, John Wick 2 is a 9.5, John Wick 3 is also 9.5. Solid action movies. If you're just into mindless violence, dude, those movies are for you. Those movies are for you, because I love that. There's certain movies that are violent that I just can't watch, because it's like almost too real. Like I was watching this movie Kick-Ass the other day, and for some reason, like it was super like comic violence and stuff, but I just couldn't stomach it. Like it made me ill. But like the one that really sticks out to me that's like that is Joker, the new Joker. Like there's violence in it, but it's really not. It's not like violent. It's not like too bad, but it like made me ill because I feel like it was so real. And like, I don't know what the difference is, but like John Wick, he like kills somebody every second. Maybe that's the thing. It's like super, it's not as meaningful in John Wick because he's just doing it all the time. But dude, John Wick, so sick. So if you don't know what John Wick is, Keanu Reeves. And in the first one, so his wife dies of like cancer or something in the first movie. And then while like right before she dies, she gets his dog and sends it to him. So she dies and then he gets the dog at the door. And so his wife gives it to him as like a new companion or something. And so the dog really means a lot to him. So he like starts taking care of the dog, and like a couple weeks go by or something. And these freaking Russian mafia bastards break into his house, beat him up, kill his dog, and then steal his car, which he also loves. And so, dude, my man John goes off, dude. So he used to be a hitman in like this, there's like this criminal underworld, right? He used to be this hitman. And so after these guys do that to him, he comes back. He goes in his basement, but he retired from the hitman life because he wanted to be with his wife, right? So they let him out, which is almost impossible. But he did it, and he pulled it off, and everything was good, right? So then he goes in his basement, sledgehammers the floor, opens it up, all his old guns and stuff, dude. It's so dope. And so he goes back into the crime underworld to freaking kill the kid that killed his dog. And, you know, it's just like this cool, it's this fun movie. The action in those movies are crazy, dude. They're so, like, the action, the scenes are so long. There will be, like, 5 straight minutes of action. Like, most of the time, it's, like maybe you get, like, 2.5 minutes. Well, like, a lot of movies nowadays is, like, 30 seconds of, like, fighting, and then they'll cut to something else, and then they'll cut back to, like, fighting. John Wick, it's, like, 5 straight minutes of him just plowing through people. And I don't know, dude. For some reason, I just am so drawn to those kind of movies. I love them. So then John Wick 2, I don't even remember what happened in John Wick 2. He like had to go kill somebody and something. And then John Wick 3, so at the end of John Wick 2, this guy was like kind of holding him hostage because he had like a blood thing. This makes no sense. You guys just have to watch the movies. So like John Wick made an oath as to like get out of the life is that he owed this guy a favor. So this guy calls in the favor after he joins the world again. And so John Wick does it or whatever. And then the guy needs to cover his tracks. So he tries to have John Wick killed. And then John Wick comes after him, dude. He's pissed. And so then there's this place called the Continental, which is a hotel. And you're not allowed to do business on the Continental grounds. It's all like hitmen and like crime bosses and stuff. And you're not allowed to do business on it or you'll be banished. And John Wick, dude, pulls up and just shoots the guy in the head right in the middle of the lounge. So then the guy has to put a bounty on him at the end. It's like he's like puts like $14 million bounty on John Wick's head, says no holds barred, go for it. And so at the end of John Wick 2, everybody's going after him. So John Wick 3 opens. Everybody's after him, dude. And the whole movie he's just trying to find these people to help him like get this bounty off his head. and it's wild, dude. There's one part, I'd say the first half hour of John Wick 3 is like the most wild, like, action I've ever seen, I think. He kills a man with a book, he kills a man with a horse, and then he goes into a knife shop, and there's like a knife, they fight in a knife shop, and so they're like breaking glass, grabbing knives. There's like all these Asian guys throwing knives, and they're all just going crazy. And it's so sick, dude. And that all happens in the first half hour. And the funny thing about those movies is all three of them take place in like, I would say like less than a month. Like they're all, like it's just one after the other. Like it's not like 3 years after, it's like 1 month, the first three movies, which is just wild. I just love those movies, man. And Keanu Reeves is just so fun because I just love him as a person. Have you guys ever seen that video of him like giving a lady a seat on a train or a bus or whatever? Like he just rides the bus, dude. He's like a huge movie star. Nobody better than Keanu, dude. Nobody better. Then the other movie I watched was The Departed, which is a Scorsese movie, and it's not really an action movie. It's more like a crime movie. There's not really action until like the last 10, 15 minutes. So, dude, this is star-studded cast. We got Jack Nicholson, Leo DiCap, Matt Damon, and Mark Wahlberg, dude. Marky Mark, man. Hey, man, it's me, Mark Wahlberg, man. I'm a cop in Boston, man. What do you want from me? I'm a detective, man. And so that's what the whole movie is. And I just really have a thing for Boston accents, dude. Like Matt Damon, dude. When Matt Damon does the Boston, I just love it, dude. In Good Will Hunting, oh my gosh. Nothing turns me on more than Boston Matt Damon, dude. I tell you what. And so that whole movie is actually super cool. So Jack Nicholson's like this Boston Irish mafia crime boss or something. And he like raises Matt Damon, like kind of has his own son, I guess, and raises him into his crime family. And then he sends Matt Damon. So Matt Damon goes through the police academy and becomes a police officer so he can be a rat for Jack Nicholson's organization. Then there's the other side. Leo DiCaprio is somehow related to Jack Nicholson. I can't remember. But he grows up and he wants to be a cop. And so he joins the police academy and he's like a good guy. And he goes through training and stuff, but then is like kicked out or something because he wasn't good enough or something like that. I really wasn't following. But he got kicked out of the police academy. So then the police used him for an undercover like detective for the crime. So it was showing like these two worlds of like a police undercover in the mafia and a mafia guy undercover in the police. And it was such a cool concept, dude. So fun, dude. And then spoilers, like I really recommend that movie. So if you're going to watch it, like click out of this or skip for a minute. Spoiler alert, everybody in the end pretty much dies. Everybody you know in the movie dies except for Mark Wahlberg. And that's how you know, dude, that it's a good movie. Honestly. Like, that's how you know. Like, it's so funny because, like, when I was younger, it was like main characters never died in movies. You know, because when you're watching kids' movies, they don't kill people off like that. They kill off a parent or something. But main characters are always, like, invincible. But then as you get older and I'm watching these different movies, like, the main characters most of the time die. Like, I can name 4 off the top of my head. Spoiler alert, by the way, for all these movies. Uncut Gems, No Country for Old Men, The Departed, Scarface. Like, everybody dies in those movies. And that's literally how you know that there's a good movie. When there's nobody standing at the end, it was a good movie. 9 times out of 10. Dude, Scarface, I watched the other day. That movie's crazy, bro. It took me like 3 months to watch it. Because I just kept starting and then like I would stop like 20 minutes later. I just kept watching it in like 20-minute increments. Because it's a hard movie to watch. But at the start, it's like so dope. So at the start of Scarface, there's like this blimp that goes overhead. So Tony, the main character, Tony, he's like a Cuban immigrant. And so he moves there. He moves to America and he's poor. And so he wants to make it big, dude. He wants to be loaded. He's like me. He wants to be rich. And so the blimp flies over and he looks up and it says, "The world is yours." That's the little message on the thing. And so that's kind of his whole theme throughout the whole movie is like, the world is yours. Like, he's going to take the world. And so he goes through his life and whatever and becomes a crime boss and stuff. And then he's like got this huge mansion and he's rich and he's the biggest freaking cocaine dealer or whatever. And then these guys murder him in his house. And he falls in like the pool. He has like a fountain in his front room. And he falls off the stairs. And there's like a globe spinning fountain. And on the globe it says the world is yours. And it just like shows that shot of him and he's like floating in the pool and he's dead and it's like the world is yours. And it's like so eerie, dude. But I love that movie. That movie was awesome. Anyways, yeah, dude. So I recommend all 3 of the John Wicks, The Departed, and I guess Scarface too. And I also watched Uncut Gems just barely, which was pretty good too. I recommend all those movies. Thank you guys. I think that's all I had, dude. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for listening. Love you guys more than anything in the entire world. You guys are great. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you thought something was funny, comment, share it with your homies. Because your homies would like me too. You like this podcast, your homies would probably like it too. And you want to brighten their day. Send them this. Be like, hey, this made me think of you. Do that right now. Send this to your friend. Hey, this made me think of you. This podcast made me think of you. It was a really fun podcast. This podcast made me think about you. Send that to him, dude. And thank you guys for watching. And I hope to see you guys next week because you guys really are the loves of my life. Thank you guys. Peace out.